Chelsea Handler has taken another shot at Joe Rogan and the comedy crowd surrounding him. After Forbes estimated that Rogan earned $82 million over the past year, Handler responded underneath an Instagram post questioning why anybody would pay him that amount of money. She accused Rogan of being uninformed, suggested he regularly gets things wrong, and argued that the money could be better spent elsewhere. Rogan has not publicly responded to the salary comment, neither have any major comedians in his circle. But this is not Handler's first attack on that world. During an appearance on Dion Cole's podcast, Handler spoke about her experience at the Netflix Kevin Hart roast and described Tony Hinchcliffe and Shane Gillis as Roganites.
Do you think that now a lot of like white comics, they feel as though that they could say something racist and it's going to further their career?
Well, yeah, they're going to get in with that group of like Roganites and that Austin group of Joe Rogan and all of those guys. And I just, like that's their MO. Even some girl comics have started to do it, to be like in with that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like they say this racist. Yeah, because I'm starting to feel that. I'm starting to feel like it's this thing that a lot of white comics are doing, and there's this group of them that's like they saying things and people, they get famous and then people get on their ass, but then there's another group going, hey, well, you're cool with us for saying what you say.
Yeah.
Now they become super rich and famous and they sell out all over. And it's like, I don't think anybody should be paying attention to that because, it's not happening like that on the other end. But they're becoming famous over this shit. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's crazy. So with this whole, did you like the shit they were saying up there though? Like,
no, I mean, it was ick. It was gross. I don't find those jokes to be funny. Jokes about lynching black people or lynching is not a joke. That's worse than rape. Like, you're not joking about rape, are you? Are you saying, I'm going to go rape you? You can't do that, but you can say lynching? Like,
she basically said making jokes about lynchings are worse than rape. Hey, that's surprising. That's surprising coming from Chelsea Handler, Chelsea Handler, she's not a fan. She's not a fan of the Roganites. She's not a fan of the Roganites. She criticized what she saw as a lazy style of comedy built around racism, sexism, and saying offensive things before hiding behind the excuse that it was only a joke. Handler was especially angry about jokes aimed at black performers, including Cheryl Underwood, and argued that comedians in that circle had become far too comfortable attacking people while avoiding criticism themselves. Shane Gillis later responded sarcastically, wishing Handler well before promoting one of his shows. Tony Hinchcliffe also pushed back against the wider roast criticism.
Unbelievable. There's news articles, because the news isn't real. Nothing is real. That say that I got lit up by Chelsea Handler, which is very, very funny because that's not what happened at all.
While Joe Rogan defended the comedians involved.
Roast jokes are fucking mean. They've always been fucking mean.
They can be cruel too.
Personal, ruthless. Go back and watch all those old Comedy Central roasts. They were fucking brutal.
Yeah.
They were brutal. Patrice would just eviscerate the entire fucking stadium. Those things, the thing is, like, if you're a person and you're not accustomed to roast and you don't get why those jokes are so mean, I get it. But comedians that are getting upset about these roast jokes, fuck all the way off. Just fuck all the way off.
All the way?
You fucking traitor.
All the way off.
You know what this is. You know exactly what this is. You're a fucking traitor. You're just using this moment to try to boost yourself up, to try to like knock down what's happening in these. You could disagree with the content. You could say, I think they went too far with this. I don't think. But this fucking pretending that these people are actual racists and Nazis just because they're telling these jokes that are in a roast, like fuck all the way off.
None of those responses were about the 82 million figure specifically, but they showed that Handler's latest comments is part of an existing conflict between her and the Rogan comedy ecosystem. And whether people like him or not, Joe Rogan is undeniably the biggest podcaster in the world. His show attracts millions of listeners, including a huge audience of young men who prefer his long, informal conversations to traditional television or news. That popularity frustrates critics who believe Rogan has drifted further to the political right in recent years. Rogan has hosted conservative figures, backed Donald Trump, and become closely associated with a comedy scene that frequently attacks political correctness and mainstream media. For many listeners, that is part of the appeal.
Here is a theory, but most people who claim to hate something or have very strong negative opinions about something may not even actually have an opinion about that thing as much as they are trying to project something about who they are. When I hated Joe Rogan, it wasn't really about Joe Rogan as much as it was just repeating what I had heard other people who I wanted to emulate say. I wanted to be seen as a thoughtful feminist who rose above the victim status that the patriarchy gave her. It sounds ridiculous, but that is where I was at. And in aligning myself publicly with all of these things that I stood against, I was able to project that identity that I so desperately craved.
Rogan sounds unscripted. He admits when he does not understand something, changes his mind in public, and allows conversations to continue for hours. But his critics argue that this relaxed style gives him cover. When Rogan promotes a weak argument or questionable claim, he can say he is only a comedian having a conversation.
Now, here's the thing. Any medication, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm a fucking moron. And I'm a cage fighting commentator who's a dirty stand-up comedian who just told you I'm drunk most of the time. And I do testosterone and I smoke a lot of weed. But I'm not a respected source of information, even for me. If I say things, I'm always going, check on that, Jamie. I don't know if that's true.
Right.
I do that all the time.
Right.
But I at least try to be honest about what I'm saying.
Or what you feel.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel, you're like, this is how I kind of feel.
Rogan enjoys the influence of a major media institution without always accepting the responsibility that comes with it. But the weakest part of Handler's argument is the focus on his salary. Spotify and advertisers are not paying Joe Rogan because they believe he is the most intelligent or responsible person in America. They are paying him because people listen. Handler may dislike his politics, his comedy circle, and the influence he has over young men, but the $82 million is not some mysterious reward handed to him by accident. It is the market value of his audience. And you have to remember, Joe Rogan's been doing this for many, many years. He was one of the first podcasters. He's been doing this arguably, maybe since the late 2000s, like, 2009, 2010. He's been putting out content on YouTube, on streaming services, on all across the internet. So Joe Rogan's been doing this for a very, very long time, and young people have essentially grown up with him. Chelsea Handler sees Rogan as the center of a comedy culture she believes has become lazy, offensive, and politically dangerous. Rogan supporters see him as an independent voice who escaped the restrictions of traditional media. That is the real conflict here. The money simply shows which side currently has the larger audience.